We're here for the final afternoon of racing for the 2024 season of the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series. Yes, we've completed 5 rounds. It's the 6th and final one, and championships still to be decided in these final 4 hours of racing.
Yeah, super exciting already. Everyone's had a race this morning and it's still down to the line. 2 people left in contention in Formula RX8 and the Legends as well.
Yeah, Legend Cars Australia at the moment doubles up as an Australian title as well as their championship round. So Ryan Pring is currently leading both of those. He's had a race win already here this weekend, but this morning's race was incredible. Rob Hogan, though, unfortunately went back down the field. Who is his closest contender?
Yeah, really exciting reverse race grid this morning for the Legends. So a few people out of position and a lot of passing, so really exciting. But yeah, Pring is just slowly starting to look good, isn't he?
But next to us is the silverware, of course, for the TFH Hire TA2 Muscle Car, framed by Hi-Tec Steel Framing. It's their championship decider, and Josh Haynes, well, he's just extended that lead a little bit, and he doesn't have to do too much more to clinch this championship for the first time ever.
Yeah, very exciting for him. Of course, they've had a great year, and, you know, Brad Gartner's done it to the last minute, but it might be slowly slipping away.
Mark Crutcher is doing an absolute masterclass, which is the class he's currently winning as well. The number 4 wasn't a great start this morning, of course. Well, let's check out some of our highlights, though, of the race.
Race number 2 this morning at One Raceway, and it was pretty busy off the race start on board here with Robbie Farr. Josh Haynes getting the early lead. A little bit of contact there between Zach Lachalpo and Mark Crutcher, and it continued on track, and there was just an awkward exchange between the two. Just the slightest of touches, and the 21 was off in the dust, and that would end his race. DSO looked at it afterwards and saw there was nothing in that. Unfortunately for Crutcher, in the dusty conditions, just lost the rear end of the car, out of position 4 in car number 4. He would rejoin, but further down the field. The battle of the race really was between Michael Coulter and Robbie Farr for the 7th position. It was a really entertaining battle as they went at it. Robbie Farr just his 2nd time in a circuit car, holding off Michael Coulter with a lot more circuit racing experience. Aaron Prosser went off the track just up ahead of them in the 5th position, and that race-long battle continued between the two. A little break lock up there for Robbie Farr. Meanwhile, out in front, Josh Haynes was being chased down by Brad Gartner, who was a little bit further back through the field. So Coulter was faster in a couple of different places than Robbie Farr, and they would continue that battle on towards the end of the race. Josh Haynes, he could see Brad Gartner was closing the gap. He got some faster laps going. Danny Reedy had a tyre go down and went off track and damaged the front end of the race car. I believe he will not make the start. Little clash here between Coulter and Farr. I think they both still had a smile on their face at about this stage. It was a really entertaining battle, and they both really enjoyed themselves out there for the best battle on the racetrack for race number 2. But out in front, championship elect Josh Haynes taking the victory by a couple of seconds over Brad Gartner. They traded the lap record over the entire race distance, but Josh Haynes in the box seat for the championship win. Just needs to finish this next race with 120 points for grabs. The gap back to Gartner is 120 points.
Well, Brad Gartner, after yesterday where we saw him have struggle off the start line there where he went back a number of positions, he jumped forward 3 positions on that first corner and fought his way back into 2nd. He was really driving that car hard.
And him and Josh again were just exchanging fastest laps, and Josh just got the goods done at the last minute.
It was really hard for Mark Crutcher. He had to spin in that one. But for me, it was the battle between Robbie Farr and Michael Coulter. Wasn't that entertaining to watch?
Yeah, they were at it for the whole race. It was really, really good. Swapping positions, like 2 cars wide. It was really exciting.
Yeah, for a moment there, they went door to door. I didn't know what was going to happen. Zach Lachalpo, though, he was very fast in the races yesterday. He's got a bit of work to do because a little bit of contact with Mark Crutcher. He spun out early in the Tempest Solutions 21, so he'll be coming back of the grid.
And a brilliant drive by Sam Bates as well, up in P3, and only a couple of tenths slower than the 2 lead cars.
The TFH Hire Formula RX8 starting grid for race number 4. Rob Bowden, Brock Payne, Jeff Connell, Justin Lewis, Thomas Derwin, Ayrton Philippi, Terry Lewis, Stacey Vickers, Aaron Hills and Sam Silvestro in your top 10. Go back to Brett Thompson out of 11, Leslie Reeves out of 12, Shad Hassan from 13, Jamie Canellis, Jason Gaylor, Jacob Mayer, and Welsh and Derek Lack for 17 cars on the grid, and I'm going to say there'll be a couple of laps potentially off this one, but
Brock Payne, we saw how quick he was in similar series before. He's been in his RX7 improved production. He's in the TFHI crew, and I'm pretty sure the winner out of this gets himself a lap in a Trans Am car or a TA2 Muscle Car. So Brock Payne's already in that stable. I think he's going to get more than just a couple of laps in that car if he can take out this championship. It means he's got to finish within 14 positions of Rob Bowden to win it in the inaugural Formula RX8 Championship, and we are underway. Rob Bowden looks like he's got the nose in front. Brock Payne, all he's got to do is follow him to the finish, but tell someone to do that who's a race car driver.
No problems with Rob Bowden's clutch on that start.
He's been super impressive in all the starts, really, when we've watched him across the weekend.
On board with Thomas Derwent. So Payne with the 14-point advantage. Effectively, that is 14 positions. So if Payne ended up down the back of the field, that would change the complexion, but with the worst round drop into it, it makes it a little bit more challenging. But pretty much if Brock can sort of stay where he is and not have to force the issue, it'll be enough for him to tie up the inaugural Formula RX8 Championship.
Yeah, that drop round really changes things up when you look at it across the weekend. So, but remembering Sydney, our first race, they did not accumulate any points for. So those that have been in the top 5 throughout the year, they're always going to be dropping out round number 1. As we see Ayrton Philippi out on the dirt just a little bit, pushed a fraction wide there as Justin Lewis dives down in the number 11, and Ayrton might get him on the inside here.
Yeah, Lewis with a very, very deep run, but he sort of rolled up the hill. He tried to get it turned in, and there's like a little lip in the middle of the corner that you roll over, and it just sucks you up the hill. So Philippi was struggling with locking wheels, breaking, flat spotting tyres in the previous race. Spit it out, Jamie.
So a little bit of background on that. I'm talking to him in the break is that he had an ABS light on that, and there's a fault on that system. So he was struggling with the brakes on the car and hoping that someone down there might be able to help him out and get a scan tool or something like that to try and diagnose the issue.
All right, so Bowden out in front, Payne in second. He's just gone purple to the first sector. Connell, Lewis, that's Justin Lewis, Terry Lewis. Terry Lewis having one of his better weekends because usually he's underneath someone else's race car and doesn't tend to get to concentrate on running his own car.
It's got to be the widest RX8 out there in the fleet because he held off Rob Bowden in the last race.
And that reverse grid race, yeah.
Experience, I'm telling you, former production car winner back in the 90s, so he's done very well.
So Bowden in control out here at the moment. Things just settling down. Definitely don't need a safety car, and we've talked about it all season going in to they got a safety car in the second to last race. And there's been T-shirts printed for 100% record, which are now worth nothing.
Well, that'll be great when you're racing your go-kart.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're going to get turned into rags.
One safety car over a 6-round series is impressive. It has been impressive.
Yeah, 24 races it'll make at the end of this for one safety car run at this point in time. That is a phenomenal feat from any category.
Is that 99%? Maybe you could just cross out the 100 and mark a 99 on it in its place. So you could still use them.
Yeah, potentially. We can make that happen.
I guarantee it's not 99%.
Justin will find a way.
I'm not very good at maths.
Brock Payne, I think he might actually be happy with second place here because I haven't seen him not be all over the back of Rob Bowden in a challenge like this the entire series.
Pretty much exactly right. There's the 46 and the 42 together. That's Philippi and Derwent. So they are in the 6th and 7th spots. Then we go back to the 73. Aaron Hills is in behind them in 8th. Stacey Vickers in 9th. And Silvestro in 10th in the number 55.
Who's coming on the inside? The hats have been hit up, and that's Terry Lewis in the 29.
That's probably going to be frowned upon from race control, I'm thinking. The reason the hats were put there for not the ability to not be able to do that. Oh, Lewis with a big handful, and it continues on. They had about 3 goes to try and get that corrected. That would have been the classic left-right seesaw on the steering wheel to try and gather that back up. He did pretty good to gather it back up because that was going. Ooh.
Oh, I tell you what. He did not back off at all. He powered out of that one. You know, when in doubt, power out. That's what Terry Lewis did. Let's have a look at these lap times, eh? Connell, fastest lap of the race at the moment. Oh, there's Terry Lewis.
He did go.
Yeah, he's gone for a bit of lawn mowing out the back there.
So that'll be up the top of the circuit because that's down to...
Did he back off at all? Someone in the background, there might be cars spun around. There was a lot of dust there. I'm not quite sure if it was cars with wheels off or potentially one facing the wrong way.
It didn't actually hurt him that much, unless they've all gone at the same time, because Derwin
Just trying to see if anything's dropping down our screen. I thought.
and Philippi was there as well. So again, he's just shortcut. He's just opened up his own door, but the cone he's already knocked over.
He moved that first.
Yeah, I'd say he's going to get a naughty boy after this one with that little effort there. So just a couple of laps. So they have taken a couple of laps off this one, just with the time constraints. We are getting towards the 5 p.m. curfew here at One Raceway, which is one of the deals with reopening it here. As on board with with a
real big moment, really.
Man, was that a reaction?
Our boys at the front going. Rob Bowden's still leading this. I think Brock Payne's going to hand him his easiest victory of the season, really.
Well, all three of them would be looking forward to taking straight race cars home, because I think across the 3 cars, there's probably not a mark on them. Bowden's definitely had some marks off the previous. Was it the bend where he stuck it in the fence?
No, it was actually where he grabbed the rubber tyre wall, and that was in practice. So he'll be happy to come away with this one straight, because that's the least vehicle this year as he sort of dips his toe into the Formula RX8 family to see how he can go with the championship and also see how it goes on the budget as we come into our final lap of the year for the Hi-Tec Oil Super Series and the Formula RX8s here at One Raceway. And here we see, have a look at Brock Payne, noses the bumper of the TFH High, number 33, right on the back of the 15 of Bowden. Jeff Connell in the background going, if you guys want to go at it, I'm happy to take another victory.
Well, he's sitting there, and if they do get together, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think Payne's going to force the issue, or is he? Connell's just going to sit there and say, thank you, but it is the last lap run. So first and second in the championship, first and second and first in that order.
You going to go there?
Yeah, no, I just confused myself. So don't worry about it. It's been a long weekend.
Have a look at Brock Payne's run, though, in this series. He has had 4 pole positions now from 6 races. He had 9 wins in a row in the end. In the end now, it looks like he has got himself 11 race wins, countless runner-ups. It's going to be another one here as he comes in second to Rob Bowden, who gets the win in the final race of the Hi-Tec Oils 2024 season here at One Raceway. Jeff Connell in third. Justin Lewis will come home in 4th. And I think we're going to see Terry Lewis there? Yes. Philippi in 6th. Thomas Derwin in 7th. Hills comes across in 8th. Then it's back to Shat Hassan in 9th. Sam Silvestro in 10th. Thompson in 11th. Canellis, Reeves, Vickers, Galla, Lack, and Marr in 17th. And these guys, they're going to be happy either way. You saw the camaraderie they had last night. Brock Payne's team actually gave Rob Bowden's team a brand new clutch. They didn't use it, but they took it in case they needed it. And that's when you're coming down with a championship decider, what it's all about. Mates racing with mates. And Rob Bowden gets the race win in race 4 for the Formula RX8s in the final race for the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series for 2024. Brock Payne clinches the championship, coming runner-up in 2nd position and ends up winning by 13 points. Jeff Connell in 3rd position, coming off a race win in the last race as well, so it's been super impressive to watch them go at it. Some fantastic names, and the Van Vardagiato, what a tough weekend for him. Didn't make it out there again, but it's been a bit of a highlight of our series, hasn't it, having the Estonian here?
Oh, absolutely. And he's Italian.
The Italian.
You'll keep.
Oh, he's got the passport now. The boys have said it to him. We have a look at our championship points. Brock Payne, 13 points over Rob Bowden. Jeff Connell, not too far behind, actually, in his maiden series in racing as well. Thomas Derwin just behind him on 287. Van Vardagiato still ends up 5th for his first year.
Edson Philippi in 6th, Justin Lewis in 7th, Terry Lewis in 8th, Steve Devjack 9th, and Shad Hassan making up the top 10 for the TFH Hire Formula RX8. When you're back down on the pit lane, we got Legend Cars Australia coming up next for their 4th race of the weekend.
Yeah, Legend Cars Australia not too far away as they battle it out for their Australian title and a championship. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back very shortly.
Welcome back to One Raceway in the final round of the 2024 Hi-Tec Oils Super Series with Legend Cars Australia, 5th and final race of the weekend. So this is for the Australian Championship and the Australian title. So the Series Championship and the Australian title here this weekend. And at the moment, Ryan Pring is in the box seat for both points-wise. So leading the overall championship with a round drop and leading the round points as well, which doubles as the Australian title and the entitlement to wear the #1 on the side of the race car for 2025. We are going to go green here. I'm not too sure how many laps it's going to be. We've got 10 up on the scoring. Scheduled for 10. Let's go green, and we're going 4 wide off the race start. Pring down the inside, and that 333 with the green wheels. Robert Hogan's in the mix. Aidan Williams, Asker Sendell. You've got Brad Goodrich in there as well. Shane Tate. Scotty Morgan in that red number 16 as we go on board with Asker Sendell. Aidan Williams just up ahead, so Sendell sliding into that 4th position. Pring out in the race lead, leading the round points, leading the series points, as the 5 with a handful of opposite lock there. Drew Gibson living dangerously further back through the field. We've talked about this racetrack being absolutely perfect for this class, and look, you just can't say enough about it, Dan. These things and the hypers, absolutely perfect for One Raceway.
Yeah, absolutely. They really do push around this venue as they head around the sequence of corners around the back section of the course. A great start from Hogan, up from 3rd into position number 2. He won the first race of the weekend yesterday, and he is already taking the fight to Pring out in front.
This one's going to get super exciting. Pring, have a look at the points for this round. 397 points. He is 3 points off doing this perfectly and still leading in the 333 machine. But Rob Hogan is the one who's really challenged him the most all weekend in that 46 Rocket.
Did we just do tag team commentating? Oh, there's some dramas here because there's a wheel off firing through the infield. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 involved at least. And I'm going to suggest definitely, if there's a wheel missing off one of these race cars, oh, there's more than a wheel missing. Coulthard's in there in the 15.
Brett Hayne is
93 of Blake Hayne.
Something's gone wheelie wrong for him.
Oh, that is bad, Matt Kavanagh. But we are definitely going to have a safety car here, which is not what we wanted right at the business end of the championship. There's one spinning down the inside. Coulthard comes into the picture now. He's the green and white car. Okay, so Bradley there on his side. So it was the 93 of Hayne that was going around, and Coulthard was sort of in another battle group there and just ploughed.
So Preto's actually gone to try and not make contact. He's been run into then, I think, as well. So that's where that's come from. He's actually trying to avoid the accident. Bradley's run into the side of him, got him very sideways. Preto's rolled away, but I'll be surprised if that hasn't sustained quite a bit of damage on the rear of that car. So really anyone from about 5th place down has somehow been affected by that.
All right, so we are behind Hyundai i30N safety car. Clean up at turn 3.
Lights are out on the safety car, though. The Hyundai N-Line is going to shoot into the pits. And what have we got? A 2-lap dash.
A green-white checker.
No, it's a green-white check because it says 2 laps remaining. They haven't crossed the start-finish line. So, yes, green-white checker to finish this race off. Ryan Pring, can he get another 100 points? It'll be an incredible finish this season and top out 497. It'll be his best finish of the year. The 333 green machine, green and silver machine. Can he do it? He's got Rob Hogan right behind him, who's been the fastest challenger we've had so far. Then it's back to Aidan Williams, Asker Sendell and Benny Goodrich, these top 5. Can they go at it for one final lap here for the Legend Cars Australia?
Behave, no safety cars. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all you're going to say. Have a look at Dylan Thomas. He is moving through. He was in 8th position, but I reckon he might have just made 1 or 2 there. They're already going wide onto the dirt. We'll look at them 2 wide, though, as they head down into turn 5.
So Ryan Pring out in front, final lap, so it is going to be a green-white checker. Haven't seen one of those for a little while. Look, I don't think it was going to change the situation. Pring's been dominant all weekend, and some of the other guys. I mean, Hogan started the weekend on the right foot with a race win, but he's had nothing for Pring for the rest of the weekend. The youngsters have been impressive for both of us, Matt, with Aidan Williams and Asker Sendell. They've both done a very, very good job. And again, for me, arguably, one of the best categories that we have got a part of the Hi-Tec Super Series over the last couple of seasons.
Definitely the most entertaining from us up here in the commentary box. We've loved having all these drivers go at it race after race after race, and Ryan Pringle gets his second Australian title and his first championship win in Legend Cars Australia, the 19-year-old out of Canberra, the apprentice mechanic. What a weekend for him. That is going to be plenty of celebrations. Now we need is someone from the ACT to somehow win the RX8s, and it'd be a capital city win.
Well, you can go and have a post-race party with Ryan because he lives in the same street.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And look, Jeff Connell, who's in our RX8, he's had a fantastic weekend, borrowed his mate's trailer from the same street. So it's all happening, really, when it comes to the Hi-Tec family.
Is Canberra seriously that small?
Feels a little bit like that. Let's have a look at the results from race number 5 this weekend. Very short race with Ryan Pring with another win, followed by Rob Hogan. Aidan Williams and Asker Sendel finish this year on a big high for those young guns. Very big shout out to them. They're going to be ones to watch out for next year. Goodridge back in 5th, Tate in 6th, Morgan in 7th, Dylan Thomas up to 8th, Timmy Reed 9th, and Bruce Duckworth in 10th.
And as the TA2s are out there on track.
Well, this is how the starting grid goes. Josh Haynes will start off the front with Sam Bates, who's been super impressive in his second ever race meeting behind the wheel of the TA2 Muscle Car. Aaron Prosser up to 3rd with Hayden Jackson alongside. Then Michael Calder and Mark Crutcher on the 3rd row, Zach Lachalpo and Robbie Farr on the 4th row, Mark Spencer and Brad Gartner, who will now start off the 5th row. So Brad coming all the way from the rear. Hopefully we're going to see Danny Reedy back out there. Now let's change things around in the championship discussion here. It was all about, can Brad Gartner get up to Josh Haynes? Will he make it there? Well, that's been decided. Now let's talk about second position. Now, Brad Gartner is leading Mark Crutcher by 23 points for second, but we've seen how much he's had to try and push the limits of that vehicle. And remember, we've got limited tyres on these cars. Brad Gartner surely has run out of brand new tyres to throw at it. Let's see how he goes in this 4th and final race of the weekend. Championship decided, but second place still up for grabs between Mark Crutcher and Brad Gartner. This race about to get underway as they come around turn number 13 and get themselves poised for a great rolling start in this 20-lap feature right at the end. Josh Haynes been super dominant. He's on the inside run over Sam Bates on the outside. Aaron Prosser in the 91 in 3rd position, been super fast as well. And here we go, we wait for the noise.
Danny Reedy definitely made the start.
Listen to a rumble down the straight as they turn into turn number 1. Prosser on the inside, kicks up a little bit of dirt, but he holds out Hayden Jackson. Mark Crutcher around the outside of Michael Coulter. And Brad Gartner looks like he is going to hang the 22 on the outside as well, further down.
Yeah, that was to the outside of Zach Lachalpo. Gartner using that higher line, trying to minimise the traffic issues down. Let's get through this first 3 or 4 corners and then we can all take a breath, which I think we've actually managed to do for the first time this weekend.
You'd think Josh Haynes, if he gets out in front, the man of steel might just start to look after his car there and try and move away from the pack with the speed he has showed. It's always taken a few laps for those tyres to really find the sweet spot when it comes to the temperature. Hayden Jackson said he was going to put a little bit of tyre pressure
Prosser into the side of Crutcher on the opening lap. Coulter's involved as well. Gartner gets through. Robbie Farr gets through. Prosser. Oh, wow. That's done a lot of damage to that race car, and I'm going to say Crutchers possibly may not get back on either.
You're going to really have to take a replay of that, aren't we?
What set it off?
What unfolds. I'm not quite sure if he just unloaded himself, Prosser, or whether something else has happened in the background there, but it looks like Prosser might have just got a little bit loose on the outside, and unfortunately when you've got a collection of cars around you in such close proximity, it's really hard not to make contact with someone else. I'm not quite sure if Brad Gartner's car made it all the way through, but Mark Crutcher looks like he is moving. Oh, look at the damage.
Crutcher's definitely got heaps of damage. I thought that was a pretty big impact. Yeah, flat left front tyre. It's got into the bodywork, obviously, on that left-hand side. So I don't think Mark's real happy about it either.
Yeah, he's going to have to struggle to get it back in. Jordan Cox will be on the radio trying to calm him down at this point as they pull that in to decide whether they can tape that up and get him back out for a few laps. But we do have a safety car out on the track, though, because a lot of dirt also accumulated on that corner.
Yeah, through both of those corners, actually. So they probably do need to get the recovery crew out there and just get that swept up because there's a lot of material on that part of the racetrack. Well, that takes your second position equation out of the situation there, Mr. Kavanagh.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Graham Cheney, who's now back in fourth position, not here this weekend with his son racing up to the Gold Coast. So Paul Hadley not here either behind that, and Danny Reedy not within striking distance of that third position. So it's really going to set the finals of the championship. Let's have a look at the Hi-Tec Oils replay.
Pross has dropped a wheel off. Pross has dropped a wheel off, and it's just angled it back across the track into the side of Mark Crutcher, who knew nothing about that. I don't think... Coulter, I think, just went off track. I don't think he had any contact through it.
Same with Brad Gartner. I think he's gone to the right. They've really split around the Prosser 91 vehicle, and, well, unfortunately, excavation by day, but not really what you want to do on the weekend.
Well, he did the left front corner in race number 1. He's just done the right front corner in race number 4. So not a good end, not a good beginning, not a good end to the weekend for the expat Kiwi Aaron Prosser in the APC Mustang with a lot of damage. And Mark Crutcher, likewise, he'll be dejected.
Yeah, that's not a good sign to see him getting out of the vehicle. That means their weekend is run and done at the moment. Maybe we can't take that bodywork up. I'm not quite sure either whether we're going to have some
there's more going on there.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot more going on for him not to rejoin the race. Someone like Jordan Cox in his pits, if he thought he could have got that car back out there circulating, I'm sure they would have been working on that immediately. You can see the damage to the rim on the front as well. Not only is the tyre off, but also bent where the bead is. So that's going to have to be replaced. These guys, though, they're already race taping it up, and they look like they're going to throw a tyre on, and potentially Aaron Prosser might be able to get out and get these laps going once again. Let's head down and find out what's happening with Mark Crutcher.
A very, very dusty Mark Crutcher. We don't want to see you on this side of the fence in the middle of the race. What happened?
Oh, I think Aaron just crossed it all up going around turn 7, I think, there, and I tried to stay out of my way, just overcorrected, and I had nowhere to go, and just a bad finish to what's been a great year. But anyway, unlucky. You didn't mean it, I know. You'll feel bad.
Well, 2 good things to come out of it. You're still walking away with the Masters Championship.
Oh yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to win that, and very proud of that. Yeah, and you know that's racing, isn't it?
And you've got plenty of time to fix the poor old car as well.
Yeah, well, we're going to Bathurst in 2 weeks. We're going to do Bathurst, and we're going to go on and do Adelaide as well. So we've still got a busy finish to the year. So yeah, anyway, look, still a great weekend. Thanks for the show. It's been a great year. Thanks to the TA2 family. And bad luck with that. That's stuff happens.
We'll see you back up on the podium after this race anyway.
Beer o'clock.
Thank you, Mel. All right, we will be back with more from One Raceway after this. Welcome back to One Raceway in the final round of the 2024 Hi-Tec Oils Super Series.
Time to get a race restart. Race number 4 here for the TFH Hire TA2 Muscle Cars. And we are about to go green once again. Most of the cars are back on the field. We're only missing Mark Crutcher in the number 4. And as the lights are about to go out, all 8 cylinders are about to fire for the final time for the 2024 season of the TA2 Muscle Cars. Here we go. And have a look as they shoot down the inside. And that looks like it might be... Just trying to see that LaChalpo in the 21. He's having a great start there. Sam's on the outside. Hayden Jackson goes a little bit wide. Prosser still down the inside, and the 91 might hold on, but it just flicks the rear end out a little bit. Maybe Jackson gets a run down the inside. Could have been a little bit of a wheel-to-wheel contact at that point. Sam Bates didn't get the run on Josh Haynes, who's leading us at the moment. LaChalpo now caught behind Aaron Prosser in the 21 Tempest Solutions entry. He's had a year off resting, but now he is right in the mix of things.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of side-by-side between Prosser and Jackson on that. And the Shalpo was sort of right there in the mix as well. As we go back on board with Robbie Farr, that's Coulter looking to the outside. A little bit of a concertina there. Coulter in behind LaChalpo. As we go back to the front, Haynes, Bates, Jackson with a great start. LaChalpo, Prosser, Coulter, Reedy. Reedy's got a pretty good start out of this deal in the 5, considering he started from rear of field.
See Josh Haynes is starting to lead away. The Man of Steel already has 3 race wins this weekend. Could it be a perfect weekend for him? Take 4 wins from 4. Can he get a round win? and a championship in a weekend. It'd be an incredible way to finish off the 2024 season. We'll have to wait and find out. In the meantime, Zach Bates still in second, and Hayden Jackson, well, he has been looking for a win on a dry track for quite some time in the number 81.
The only session he has in top was qualifying, because Gardner was in the 58s for qualifying, but he did top the top 8 shootout with the Kubota Pole Award and has won every race. So not quite perfect, but just about.
You're not going to get much better than that, I think, on a race weekend. And I think he's got 4 Kubota Pole Awards out of 6 weekends as well. So he's had an incredible season. Josh Haynes in the Herzog still number 37, and I'm not quite sure whether he's really going to push the limits of this car going around. We'll wait and see as the track times starts coming. The lap times are 1:02, a 1:01 for Sam Bates. So now he is not going to let Josh Haynes get too far in front at this point, but I'm sure Haynes, he might have a little bit up his sleeve, because the celebrations are going to go into the night for the Haynes family.
How's Hayden Jackson? I think I heard an interview with Hayden beginning earlier on in the weekend where he said he desperately wanted to get a podium in the dry. He's done it this year in the wet. He's become known as a little bit of a rainmaster, but he really wants a podium in the dry. Zach Lachalpo's been really quick this weekend. He's had a couple of offs. He's been pretty speedy, so let's see if he can chase down Jackson. At the moment, the gap is about 1.2 seconds back there, and then you've got this battle group headed by Prosser, Coulter, Farr, and Reedy.
And I'm just having a look. Where is Brad Gardner, the 22? Seems to be an issue with that car as well. It is.
Where is Brad Gardner?
Yeah, it's
exactly.
falling off the back. I think there might be an issue with the 22 again after they had those steering issues. We did see him go to the right-hand side of the dirt. Has he come across another failure?
So Brad Gardner has dropped right back to the tail of the field. Crutcher the only one in the pits after that opening clash between himself and Prosser. So Gardner, yes. Where is Brad Gardner? What has happened to Brad Gardner? Because he is not in the top 10 cars. It's Cam Sendell further back, and behind him Mark Spencer in that brand new 44 Challenger. There's Gardner now by the looks of it. So he's still on track, but he's right back at the tail of the field. Gardner's last lap was a 1:04, so he's limping around with an issue. I'll keep an eye on the next lap, but he's continuing on, but he's 4 seconds off the lap pace that's been set by the likes of Haynes and Bates. Impressed here with Hayden Jackson. He's hanging here with Bates and really forcing the issue here. So the gap, Haynes to Bates, 1.47 seconds. Haynes with the fastest lap of the race at a 1:00.96. And Hayden Jackson is not making it easy here for Sam Bates.
This one's going to go on to the end of the race, isn't it? Hayden Jackson, how is he going for tyres? Sam Bates, we know, he just rolled out the throttle a little bit and conserved tyres after Josh Haynes got past him last time. And of course, Brad Gardner fighting it out of the front. He said, you know what, I didn't quite have their pace, so we've conserved tyres for this 4th and final race.
So Hayden Jackson was just, he was struggling with some understeer in the previous race. He said that's just one of the inherent natures of the Challenger body style. And here at one of the smaller tracks, it's not so aero efficient, but he's been struggling with understeer at some of the crucial points of the track. So they're trying to manage that. He was saying he's not actually hurt in the rear tyre. He's been trying some different lines up the top as well, along what we spoke about with Reedy and Farr and Gardner and Haynes, and trying to minimise loading up that left rear. So he's not actually having a rear problem. It's the front tyres that are causing issues with Hayden Jackson's Challenger.
Great battle for 5th position. Prosser still leading that one over Coulter, Farr, and Reedy not too far behind. He's just dropped off a little bit in the Desert Palms entry.
Yeah, Reedy was right up behind Robbie Farr there a couple of laps ago, so might have made a small mistake, and he's just dropped off the back of that. Gardner's last lap was a 1:03, so he's 3 seconds slower a lap than the leaders. So he's definitely managing some sort of issue in the number 22 Hi-Tec Oils Camaro back on board with Farr. Looking pretty comfortable in there, very, very relaxed.
Just listening to him apply that throttle, aren't you, as he goes around. He's really got that throttle control down nicely. Doesn't want to overexcite the back tyres there and spin the wheels too much. There's still a little bit of dirt dragged across this track in certain corners there that can create a little bit of an issue for these drivers, especially coming out of turn number 6.
That's one thing I don't think Robbie's got too many problems with in the sprint car guys with throttle application, having to roll the throttle, which they're very, very used to with the sprint cars, especially when the tracks go very, very slick. Just watch that shot there, Matt, and yeah, Hayden Jackson definitely with some mid-corner understeer up through 12 and off 13. So he's quick everywhere else, but he's just struggling with a little bit of understeer in a couple of spots. And I think he's using up that front tyre a little bit more than he probably wants, trying to stay here with Sam Bates. He's got the podium spot right now, and he's got a big enough gap back to Lachalpo, who's not making much progress to try and get to them. That gap between Lachalpo and Jackson is about 3.9 seconds.
Now, if you're Josh Haynes, do you wait for a good lap where the car's feeling good and absolutely send it? 1 minute 0.676 that time, so he's slowly getting a little bit faster out there with his best lap. And is he going to try and put a 59 together in race pace? Because we haven't seen that yet.
Don't know if there's a 59 in there. Oh, I did say that about the Hypers. I didn't think there was a 54 in there, but lo and behold, one of the boys did, and actually really rocked the joint. So look, it just depends on the tyre state of Josh Haynes.
1 minute 30.
Okay, he's only 3/10 off Gardner's track record. So Gardner in race 2 went 1:00.0850. Okay.
I feel like he's winding it up the Herzog Steel Mustang. Have a look at Sam Bates. He is sliding the 24 out now, and Hayden Jackson is all over the back. This is a fantastic battle for second position.
If he could get the lap record, then I'll go back to a perfect weekend.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Maybe they'll be in his ears now. He doesn't have much to lose. Oh, the nose. The challenger's just going to get down the inside of Sam Bates. He has a look under brakes. He's going to get out wide, try and do the crisscross at the moment. Hayden Jackson exploring different parts of the track to try and get a move done on Sam Bates as we're halfway through this race.
Sam's got a little bit better drive down out of 8, the hairpin, the fishhook corner. Hayden's actually really, really strong in the faster sections of the track. So if he is battling with that understeer, a little bit of mid-corner there again, but it's not actually hurting the exit speed so much. So again, they're probably a little bit better than each other in a couple of different parts of the racetrack, as Haynes' last lap was a 1:00.40, so only a 10th off his best.
Yeah, just slow down just under a 10th.
A 10th.
He's putting them back to back. A little bit of debris on the track again. We haven't seen through those qualifying sessions. And last lap we saw how much Brad was really punishing the car to make sure it gets around now. Having a look, he is on lap 9. So
that's where Hayden's actually... That's where Hayden's very, very strong. So the run from 6 down to 7 and 8, off of 6, Hayden's got very, very good drive down there. Oh, little lock up from Sam Bates, so he knows he's got a fight on his hand. Hayden actually opened the wheel up to stop getting into the back of him, and it actually cost him a few lengths. So Sam with a little lock up, so he's under pressure here, and if these two tie each other up, Lachalpo is actually coming to them, and he's just set a PB at a 1:00.87 on the last lap for the 21 Camaro.
Oh, 1 minute 0.18 for Josh Haynes. And sector 1 and 2 wasn't great. It's all in the third sector. So if he can string those three together, maybe he's just backed off the tyre for a couple of sectors.
Come on, a 59.
Come on, a 59, Haynes. It brings us a perfect weekend. That's what we'd love to see, is this battle. The Robbie Farr's caught up in at the moment with Michael Coulter, with Danny Reedy behind, Prosser just in front.
We saw a 58 in qualifying from Brad Gardner, which was a stunning lap. And look, Josh did manage to get the pole in the top 8 shootout. But yeah, if there's a 59 in there, he is my new hero.
Michael Coulter just, there's a bit of a gap opened up between him and Aaron Prosser now for that 5th position, as Robbie Farr still all over the back. And I don't know if they're going to get the opportunity to maybe go door to door unless Michael Coulter makes a small error there in the number 11 Terps tippers. Aaron Prosser just looks like he's calmed the car down a little bit now, maybe not pushing it too far. We've seen him just step the car out a little bit wide. He got pushed last time, he was saying. Maybe the car's too wide there, just sends it a little bit wide. Once you grab that dirt, they get very loose. But here we go, Haynes is on a mission. Second sector is the fastest of the race at 25.006.
That last lap, he did go faster, a 1:00.131, so he's only 0.13 of cracking into the 59, so I'm thinking he's trying pretty hard to do it. The first sector on this lap wasn't as stout. He was about a 10th and a half down. As we watch this battle, this ever-growing battle between Bates, Jackson, and a fast-closing Zach Lachalpo, who's about 2/10 quicker than these two on track right now. The gap back to Lachalpo's down to 1.6 seconds. It was out beyond 2.5. Looks pretty stable there at the moment, but Lachalpo is definitely closing the gap. Hayden Jackson looking so racy here in the dry conditions. Here's a replay. So this is Bates and Jackson. Oh, okay, there was a little bit of contact there. Jackson launched off the curbs. Bates was sort of having his own issues trying to get it turned in. And Bates has just worn a face full of Challenger in the back bumper of the pristine white Mustang. Cross has been in the wars, but we know he's got car speed, and Gardner is on pit lane. So he was managing something there for a few laps. He had got down to a 102 as the hood comes off the Gardner Camaro, and that is not a good sign when the bonnet comes off. Has it dropped a cylinder?
The amount of dirt that has gone over the front of that car, can you tell me none of that has made it through the air intake at the front? That's potentially what you've
So
seen.
Max Vidot there was just, they were checking plug leads. I'd say it's dropped a cylinder.
Yeah, that's not a great finish to the weekend for Brad Gardner, but it's been one of those seasons. He's either having a fantastic weekend or he's having a terrible weekend.
Haynes has gone purple to the first sector. He's just rocked in a 16 flat. This is definitely not over. A little lock up this time from Hayden Jackson. The Shalpo continues to close the gap. It's down to 1.2 seconds. I'm watching the timing monitors because Haynes has gone purple to the second sector.
And it's a 24 too.
Oh,
he's cracked the 25.
It's fast. There's a 59 coming up here. If he can get the third sector right, there may be a 59 and a new lap record for Josh Haynes, which really would top a perfect weekend. As Jackson, there it is, 59.80 from Josh Haynes.
That's a race record, 59.8, an incredible third sector, and 18.88. What a way to finish off his weekend at this point. We are 3/4 of the way through this fourth and final race in the last round of the Hi-Tec Oil Super Series and the TA2 Muscle Cars, framed by Hi-Tec Steel Framing. Hayden Jackson looking for a second place. Sam Bates is doing an incredible job to hold him out, and I reckon Josh Haynes might have just backed off a little bit there, judging by that first sector time. They said, mate, you've got it, bring it on home.
Yeah, just keep it on the tarmac, keep it on the terra firma. This is definitely not over. Oh, Jackson with a little half look, just trying to spook Sam Bates into a mistake in that white 24 Mustang. LaChalpo now within a second, so there we could have a very, very close three-way battle for second, third, and fourth coming up here very, very shortly. Prosser, Coulter, Farr, Reedy, 6th, 7th, 8th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and behind these guys, and they're about 15 seconds down the road.
Well, this battle is going to continue. Zach LaChalpo, though, is running out of laps to get onto the back of this, potentially impose himself on these two.
In a couple of different places, Hayden's definitely quicker, but Sam's sort of quick enough in the places where he needs to be, but they've got to be careful here because LaChalpo is definitely closing in. And what do we got? 4 laps to get to the end. Haynes has just started rolling out and trying to set those fast laps. He's got the track record. He's got a 12-second lead.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. He did roll out on the last lap. He still did a 1:13, so he is still getting around in times that a lot of the drivers would be happy with, Josh Haynes, but I'm sure he knew. He got himself prepped up and wanted to get a race record while he was here this weekend. And like you say, apart from the initial qualifying session, he's taken a top 8 shootout win. He's taken a race win in the first 3 races, and it's looking like he is going to round it out with a perfect weekend of a race record as well as 4 from 4. So a round win, a championship win. It's all on for the Herzog Steel 37 this weekend.
Sam Bates is going to be getting sick of looking at the front of Hayden Jackson's Dodge Challenger in his mirrors because Hayden has not been any further than about 2 car lengths away the entire race distance. He had a face full of him earlier on when he got into the back bumper of the white Mustang, but yeah, here comes LaChalpo, another little lockup. That was from Jackson. They're all trying hard, but here comes Zach.
Tempest Solutions 21 joining this fight for second position at the moment. Sam Bates, feel like he might not quite be as quick as Hayden Jackson, but very hard to overtake around here unless you've got a clear speed advantage at some point throughout the track. And it's really that slingshot onto the front straight that can line you up for an assault down into turn number 1.
Yeah, Sam, he's doing enough. He hasn't made a mistake, like run deep into 8 and he just locked up the brakes to allow the opportunity for Hayden to get by. So unless Sam makes a mistake, Hayden's going to have to probably bomb him to do it. And if he does that, he runs the risk of ruining in his own race and a podium. But he's got to be mindful, and he'll be in the mirrors that he knows that Zach Lachalpo's coming to him as well. That gap's just sort of stabilised now to 0.8, 0.9, so they're doing similar lap times. Lachalpo on the last lap actually was 4/10 quicker. So Jackson's just done a PB to the first sector on lap 18.
So I just was going to say, Josh Haynes has rolled out a little bit now with 2 laps remaining. He's got a race record.
He's just gone purple.
He got purple in Sector 1. He's just missed out on a purple in Sector 2 by less than 1/10 of a second. And we know how strong he's been in this 3rd sector all weekend. Maybe we're looking at another 59 from him.
Watch this space. We're watching the timing monitors and trying to watch this battle, which is intriguing. Oh, 59.66. Josh Haynes, take a bow. Okay, now you're just showing
Final lap. Can we go all purples on the final lap?
Now you're just showing off, Josh Haynes. Like, way to rub it in. But in saying that, Bates and Jackson have just done PBs and behind him. So they're setting their fastest laps at the end of the race. So obviously the fuel loads are lightening up a little bit. But man, we're at the business end of the weekend. 4 races on the 6 Hoosier allocation for the weekend. And these guys are doing their fastest laps right at the end. I think Hainsey might have rolled out of this last one because the first split was a couple of tenths down on his best, but a 59.66 new lap record.
Still at 24.9 in the 2nd sector.
Top qualifier, yeah, he was only just a shade off in that. Top qualifier, 4 race wins. It doesn't get any more perfect than this.
And here we go, Josh Haynes, the man of steel, comes across for a perfect weekend. He's got 4 race wins from 4 starts. He's got himself a race record. He got the first ever TA2 Muscle Car win here at the brand new One Raceway, and he's taken out in the championship for the 2024 season. Sam Bates comes in 2nd. Hayden Jackson only 4/10 of a second behind in 3rd place, and Zach Lachalpo fighting from 7th position to end up in 4th.
Gardner, unfortunately, the end of the championship didn't end up the way that he liked. So Josh Haynes taking the victory, 13.7 seconds ahead of Sam Bates, who's had an outstanding weekend, one of the best performers of the weekend for me in the TA2s. Hayden Jackson gets a podium in the dry conditions ahead of Zach Lachalpo, Aaron Prosser, Michael Coulter with another top 6, Robbie Farr with a straight race car, and 7th ahead of Danny Reedy. Danny Reedy will take out the RaceTech Rookie of the Year award, and Mark Crutcher the Serco Masters Award, and 3rd overall in the championship. And here we go, some celebrations for Josh Haynes coming up here, hopefully. He's trying to figure out how to get the thing started. And the burnout celebrations from the man of steel, Josh Haynes. Probably picked the hardest part of the racetrack to do some donuts with the banking over there at turns 11, 12 and 13. But certainly the ability to enjoy it, and he's going to lay down some smoke in the Herzog Steel Mustang. Brad Gardner just offering his congratulations to Josh Haynes. Let's cross down to Matt Kavanagh, and he's got a few things to give away.
What a weekend for this young gun. He's been runner-up twice in this championship. He's got 4 race wins from 4 race starts this weekend. A lap record on the final 2 laps of the race as well. Give it up for the man of steel, the number 37 Herzog machine, Josh Haynes. Gets himself the winner's garland, the massive championship trophy, and the $5,000 championship ring. Give it up for our winners. Danny Reedy, RaceTech Rookie of the Year. Mark Crutcher, our Serco Masters winner, and our outright 2024 TFH Higher Muscle Car Series champion, framed by Hi-Tec Steel Framing, Josh Haynes. Let's celebrate on the podium. Let's have a look at what we're going to do in 2025 as part of the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series. It's all going to kick off at the home at Winton Motor Raceway, March 29 and 30. We're going to head back to Sydney Motorsport Park in May. Queensland, well, it's nice and sunny and warm up there when the rest of the place is freezing. We got Queensland Raceway followed by Morgan Park, and then back to Queensland Raceway in August. We go back to the Bend, and will we take on the 5-kilometre track again? We're not quite sure. A TBC in October. And of course, we finalise things out at Winton Motor Raceway back in November. What a way to finish off our Hi-Tec Oils Super Series. Well, it's been an absolutely massive year, the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series. We thank all of our viewers, everybody who's come and watched us at the track, watched us on TV. We can't do it without all your support. It's been fantastic from all the racers who have joined us across the series as well. We can't wait to bring you all the excitement and entertainment of the TA2s and the rest of the race cars in 2025. And please watch all of our socials and join us for the next season of the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series.